This is a question for OffAir gang. So if you buy Asoebi, like really expensive Asoebi for a wedding, let's say what 250, 300,
Anything over 100K, please.
okay, let's say 253, 300,000, and you find out that the couple splits before a year. Are you entitled to a refund? Hi guys, welcome to a brand spanking new episode of OffAir with
Gbemi.
And I'm Toolz. Hola. All right, so for today's episode, actually before Gbemi tells us about today's episode, I need to give a big shout out to our good friends at Plato.
Hi,
right
Plato.
now, my stomach is grumbling, it's going grah, 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 but they're going to sort us out as soon as I finish this episode. So if, like me, you're very indecisive and you're not quite sure what to have and you're like, oh, maybe I want this, maybe I want that, you know what, order everything. Order everything. If you want to have a day of big backness and you only pay one delivery charge, head over to orderplato.com. That is PLATO.com.
Very, very simple. Now, for those of you who are watching us, like, please, subscribe. Please. Send this episode to someone, to your group chat. Comment. Thank you so much as you do so. May the Lord bless you. Now, we have a lot to talk about. We have a guest who is going to break down the events industry in Nigeria. She has planned some of the most luxurious, most talked about
luxury
birthdays, events, burials, whatever. And she's very much known for her, should I say, like her experiences. She loves to give you an experience. So it's not just come, sit, eat, music, this and that. There's always something. Either your cake is coming from the sky or it's coming from underground or the couple will appear somehow. That is her thing. And we're going to be talking to her very shortly. Our guest today is one of the top event planners in Nigeria. In fact, one of the best event planners in Nigeria. She planned my wedding. Please put your hands together for Bisola Borha. Woohoo! Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And you also did the OffAir launch event
yes,
back in, what year was that?
2020.
Where, and you didn't know this, but we didn't even know. We later found out that Toby Bakre met his wife
At that
our
event.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're also like a
matchmaker.
Matchmaker. Good. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
You look very well.
Thank you.
Very colorful.
I know.
All right. So let us get into this. Obviously, we're going to be talking about events in predominantly Lagos, because if there's one thing that people talk about, it is events in Lagos, particularly weddings. It feels like things have gone, as my mom loves to say, nuclear. Nuclear right now. So first off, if I wanted to get married, say at the end of this year, and I wanted like a decent wedding, about 200 to 300 guests.
Okay.
You know, food okay. No artist performance, because just a good DJ, small chops, just the basics. The basics. What kind of budget am I looking at?
I'll say if you really want quality vendors that wouldn't mess up your day, I'll say from 80 million naira upwards.
It's say 18 or 80.
80, like 80
Okay. Wow.
upwards. Yeah, like if you want like
for 200 to 300 people.
because sometimes it's not all about the number of your guests. Sometimes it might be the quality of a decor. So there are some decorators that charge 80 million on the dot for decor. And it doesn't have anything to do with the number of guests. Sometimes it might be the quality of food. Some people want different courses, 7 courses, 5 courses. So it depends on how much detail, the type of experience you want included in your event. I mean, yeah, people spend, we've had a lot of budgets.
This ATM is like the higher side, right? Or are you saying from ATM?
Yeah, I mean, if you're taking out experiences, because I mean, when I say experiences, I mean a lot of people want more than just people come, DJ, band, cut your cake.
I am the experience.
You
Exactly.
I am
So
the experience.
they don't want any performance. They don't want any dance troupe.
Um,
DJ. Everybody eats one course.
So
One puff. Like,
garden wedding, maybe it's your house, your garden, because sometimes venues alone can be like 10 million.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like the
Okay,
mainland.
let me break it down.
Mainland.
Right, let me break it down. So I'm 200 to 300 people. I'm giving them one portion of small chops, and in terms of food, there's jollof rice, there's fried rice. Swallow. Okay, there's swallow. Jollof rice, fried rice with moi moi. That's all I want to do.
No Oriental, no Chinese.
Oh, okay.
No
maybe
plates.
50
million. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
you know
a
what?
lot.
You know, this is
Are there
taking
clothes
me
inside?
Not necessarily. Some people spend 50
started
million on
sweating.
their clothes.
This is like
because they're doing like 8 looks.
I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks because at my wedding, like I didn't know. Obviously, after a while, I just gave up, and because I was trying to plan, I was trying to stay on top of it, but there were so many people involved, and after a while, I was just like, you know what, it's out of my hands. But I remember this is my trad. I remember walking around, and there was so much food, and I was walking like maybe I went to change, and I was coming back, and I would see somebody that hadn't like finished eating their food, and in my mind, I was like, do you want to take that to go? Should I bring nylon? Because it's expensive. Like one of the things I remember, they were like, oh, this and this per person. And I'm like, what?
The caterers charge per plate.
Yeah.
And as at 2018, good caterers were charging between 6 to 10K per plate.
Yeah.
So now,
it's like
2026.
Some of them charge about 13K per plate. And I'm talking about Nigerians. Most Nigerians will not just take one plate of food. They'll tell you they did not eat because they've been in your party maybe since 1 p.m. and now it's like 5 p.m.
How can a person save money on this? Can we do short weddings? So let's say, let me give an example now. Let's say
I'm curious.
Paul and Angela. No, let me explain. Paul and Angela want to get married.
Yes.
And they've done court. They've gone to Ikoyi to do court wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wedding
very simple. Then trad, they did it in Angela's daddy's parlor. So it's just real, like, core family. So what is remaining is, let's say they're Christians, church and reception. And they have 200 people. They've pruned and pruned and pruned down the guest list to the bare minimum. And they say, we want to save money. So let's say church is 10 a.m. They finish church by 12. You use 1 hour to take picture or to get to the venue. So reception starts like 1:32. We want this thing to be done by 6 o'clock because we want to save money. Can you do it? It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I've been to a wedding that ended at 5 o'clock.
I think
I was lost.
In that case, I think at the wedding, just pack the food and the people that came to the wedding.
Some people started doing that.
Yes.
And then just have like a very, very intimate reception. In terms of the people that are, saying they're trying to eat more than once, I think there's a reason why, I got married when I got married, because I feel like if I was going to get married now, I would be so strict. They would mark your thumb. They would mark your thumb after you've collected food and you can't come again, as in permanent marker, not the one that you can go and wash off. If I have to, we'll check your mouth to see if there are any remnants of food. But I feel that when I go to weddings, I'm mortified at how much... at the wastage of food. There seems to be like, you just see plates that have just barely been touched and everything. I'm just like,
it's not too big.
No. It's not. I think that a lot of Nigerian events, not just weddings, so there's burials, there's birthdays, encourage gluttony in a way. Let me give you an example. So you are first of all getting seated and they bring you small chops. It's nice.
not always.
Okay, sometimes. I'm just saying. Then they come and then they bring you cocktails. And then they carry their baskets around. Do you want malt? Do you want juice? Then they come again and they say, what would you like to eat on the menu? You pick your main course, whether it's rice, whether it's swallow, whether it's this one. Then they will come again and then they will say, we have amala. Some people eat that too. Then they will come again and they'll say, we have fish and chips.
We have grills.
They will eat that too. We have grills.
Then we have
then they will come again and they will bring, like before the dessert, they will bring some other things. And I've seen weddings where they had everything, including tea.
But guess what?
Must you eat everything?
But guess what? Just before we started filming, you were talking about a wedding that it looked beautiful, but they didn't have food. I think one of the biggest taboos, if you for a Nigerian event, is for somebody to go there and be like,
yes. People actually even mark up these things. They will ask you, oh, when are we getting this next? When are we? So people already pretty much know that if I'm having my event, I need to have, the starters, the main, the grills, then like you said, maybe even multiple grill options.
Yeah.
And then you now have
you need to have like another menu for the after party.
Exactly. That's like a separate event
that's like
on
a
its
separate.
own.
That's like a
So
separate
by the time you add all those things, it's
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
on
money.
just food alone. That's
Now,
just
but
food. Though. We're
my
not talking
point
about
is, yes,
MC, DJ, band.
My own thing is this. My own definition of a good event is your food is on point. The music is on point because the music can ruin everything. The music is on point and everybody's having a good time. At the same time, yes, and there should be lots of food, but at the same time, doesn't mean you as a person should eat all the food.
But
You don't
we
have
as
to eat everything
the
that
host
passes
wants
you.
to make sure that all these different varieties are available, and then you don't even know which guests will want to eat what. It's available.
I understand. Let me explain something to you. I'm not saying don't have food at your wedding. What I'm saying is also because they are bringing all the food does not mean as a guest you need to eat everything. Is my point. Give you an example. I left my wedding at 4 a.m. because I was tired. Everything was happening that same day. As we were leaving, hot food was still coming out. But doesn't mean you should eat everything is my point. There was a lot of food. But I'm just saying, like, as a guest, you don't have to eat 8 things in one wedding.
If I have caterers and they have this food, I would rather they bring them out to my guests than for them to take it back home.
No, not take it back. But I'm just saying that part of it is like Nigerians also eat too much.
They do.
I feel that if you have made allocation for a certain amount of food, I would hate. That was one of the things, and I just talked about. I would hate for the food that I have paid for to waste, because it's not like the caterers are going to say, okay, we said you said you wanted 150 plates, or we only did 100. This is the money back for 50. No, the 150 plates you paid for, that is what is going to be, you're going to be charged for, whether people eat it, whether they don't eat it, whether they want more, that is it. So eat. Because I was looking at people like, are you going to eat that? You're not going to finish that. Why?
You know why they were not finishing their food? Because they had eaten so many other things.
Eat more.
That's why they were leaving half plates.
Loosen your corset. Eat more. Don't waste my goddamn money.
I can tell you for a fact that it's because there's so much demand on all these varieties of food. So people have gone for other events, other weddings. They've seen their friends, children, you having it at their wedding, and they're like, oh, no, I want this, I want that. Even sometimes when the planner is trying to tell them that, okay, you may not necessarily need some things, because their friend has had it at their event and there's low-key some kind of healthy competition. They want to top it, and they will even be telling you, oh, no, I want this, I want that. Oh, no, let's add it. I saw this thing here. I saw something interesting. Let's do this. And, also, obviously, if you're going to be hiring an event planner, clearly you already have some type of money to make sure that, you're hiring someone that understands your brief, the type of standards you're looking for. So you hear clients demanding for so many high-end
but that's
things.
To be honest, I feel like that is a big problem in Nigeria, the topping it-ism. Everybody wants to just my oh, I went to this event, they had this, they had that. You know what? They had cars. I want rocket ships in mine. I want to do this, I want to do that. But let me ask you this, right? So when it comes to the things that people are very particular about, when they ask you to, come and plan their event, is it the decor? Is it the food? Is it the entertainment? What is it that people seem to want to are ready to pay the most on?
People are ready to break the bank for decor these days and food. And okay, more of decor. Let me. So obviously, everybody feels like that is what introduces the event. Like that's what sets the tone of the event. So they pay attention to that decor because they want the aesthetics, everything to just look out of this world. In most of them, what they always ask for, I want something out of this world. I want something that oozes class from when people come in and all that. And then food next. But even with food, you find some people trying to use some family and friends to cover up for these areas over, like, they want their decor to be amazing. We're not even trying to shortchange. I mean, 1 or 2 people may not mind. Like, you have people that would have gone to get pictures from someone's wedding and come and say, please, can I get this exact decor? But they want to use someone else that is probably not as,
skilled.
Yes. But people don't joke around with their decor, basically. It's usually like top of the range. Like, oh, I definitely want my decor to look amazing. And then food, obviously, because nobody wants any embarrassment. And that's why, getting back to what you were saying, most people really ask for these different items. In fact, I have an event that we're doing. 7 courses. I mean, you don't have to eat everything, but it's available. You're not going to come at the end of the day to say, I did not eat. Rather, you say, in fact, I won't lie to you, the events we do, we like it when the guests are saying, you people
The food is too much.
The food is too much. That's when you know you've worked. I'm not gonna lie. Because you don't want to be hearing the opposite. Or someone coming, one uncle or one auntie say, imagine I did not eat, I did not do
it's
this.
those ones that say they did not eat. When you watch the
that
video,
they've eaten 15 times. Yes. And they always
Every time.
they'll say, oh, when is the grill coming? When is this? When is the dessert? You've not finished your main food yet. You're already asking for dessert.
I like to plan. So it depends on what I'm. This is me talking as a guest. So it depends on what I'm wearing. If I see like if I know there's amala, good party amala, I won't eat anything else. I'll even, chill on the small chops. However, I will say this for people that are doing events, and please, this is honest feedback. I think it is so, so important to make sure that your small chops is hot. There's nothing as disappointing. I'm a small, they could use small chops to kidnap me. Like literally, if they had like I like puff, they could use it to kidnap me. So it is very disappointing when you're there and I'm still in my phase. I'm about to leave my phase of my phase of corseted dresses. But I'm there and I'm like, okay, you know what? Today, I think the space that we have, I think we can do maybe some small chops and maybe small, party amala. And then I'm excited because obviously I didn't eat at home because I needed to get into this dress. And I'm excited. And they bring the plate of small chops and I'm like, glory. And it's not even like warm.
Yeah.
It's just cold. And then the chicken and let the chicken be nice and succulent. Not the chicken that looks like it's suffered. I want like nice, juicy chicken. And then, maybe samosa, spring rolls, nice spring rolls.
I just remembered something.
What?
Imagine paying expensive. You know when somebody has come to say they're doing wedding and the Asoebi is expensive, and you are grumbling under your breath, but so that it won't be like you're not supportive, you buy the Asoebi, you get to the wedding, service is nonsense, food is nonsense. I went to this one wedding, even the palm wine had maggots inside.
Oh my
The
God.
small chops was three puff puff, one samosa.
Wow, she counted
no
it.
chicken.
Oh
I was
He
pissed.
counted.
I was pissed. There was no chicken.
Oh no,
Like it was
not
not nice at all. Like I was just like, and you were very adamant about this Asoebi, and I look at.
Man, there's some weddings there's some weddings that I've been to that I've been like you said, I'm like, I will say to them, do not come to this table anymore.
Oh yeah,
Come to this table anymore.
Yeah.
They're bringing this. Oh man, do you want? There's grill. There's yam and fish. There's
remember that one wedding where
There's
they even brought tea. I say come, and it wasn't just. It's not.
And there's something.
It's
coming
not your normal tea bag tea. It's
that.
Arabian tea. Is this one tea? Is that one tea? I was just like, please, it's okay. I wanted to bust. See, this is why. First of all, I'm beyond those corset dresses because you cannot wear them again. Iran Buba supremacy. Please, I will wear Iran Buba. For the last few Asoebis I've done in the last 2 years is Iran Buba. I will wear Iran Buba and be comfortable. And I can dance and I can move. Not the one where you're like this.
Yeah. Back to what you were saying
stop.
about, expensive Asoebi, and at the end of the day, there's no food. There's something I always tell my clients: don't joke around with that food. Going back to what you were saying about, you need to just make sure that it matches what you have put out there.
Yes. Because
your wedding is
prices
trending.
are crazy now.
Asoebi is expensive. Because I also what I was selling the Asoebi for $4,000. What's the Asoebi
In these leggers.
If I pay
$4,000.
Yes. So obviously that when you're buying that type of Asoebi, you're going to do your makeup.
Hold on. Let me just calculate that. Wait.
Yes.
Sorry, continue talking as I calculate this. What's the rate now?
Let's say 1.4, the 2.8, 2.5, 5.6 million.
Sold it for $4,000, and obviously we knew that
What
the
do you
standard
mean?
of that event.
If it's 1.4, that's like almost 6 million. That's 5.6 million.
That's what I said.
See, is that what you said? I think you said 4 point something.
No.
If I'm paying that much, I don't think I will ever. If I'm paying that much, I will be sitting with a couple.
You follow them home.
I will be there. I will sit there with you.
So apparently it's a thing in their clique, and they always do that. So all of them, and obviously they're coming correct. Because he knew how much he had sold his Asoebi, obviously he was on us. We need to make sure this. Oh no, this is how I want my waiters to be.
What was
everything
souvenir?
has to look on
iPhone?
point. No, they had every single thing. That event was one of the events.
No, but what were the souvenirs? That's what I want to know. If I'm going to pay that much, I'll sit with the couple. You create like my own table on the stage.
Your own high table.
And yes, I will be part of the high table. And then I will get like a souvenir, which should be some kind of very expensive electronic at the very least.
They had travel bags, they had perfumes, they had one or two things, but the event was very, very elevated. It wasn't one of those ones whereby it was random. People really came and had an experience.
What is your
basically.
biggest pet peeve? And this is us as guests. And you can speak also as a planner. What's your biggest pet peeve at events? For me, you know those people that roam about the hall with money.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You can go and change your money outside, but give them a corner. But that they are holding notes and they are roaming about, it's just, I'm like, where is your security?
I like that you're saying that. I mean, there are some events that's actually that's the vibe they want. The Owambe ones, the Yoruba, Lagos Island people. That's when in fact, they will even tell you, please bring them in. How can you tell them to go out? How are they still going to spray us?
Go on,
and they like when they see all the people changing money and all that.
Right? As the people that I reckon you make more money.
Yes, because today
are you having a party to have a party, or are you having a party so people can spray you?
All parties for different reasons.
All the above.
Yeah, even behind scenes, we're talking about people even using their weddings for content eventually. Yeah. People have spent so much money that some people actually recoup their money back on the day.
Yes, I heard.
Even there's some couple that they make their money back, and that's why some people are very particular about setting bands.
And that's why they end up also inviting random characters to their events, because you know that those ones will spray them.
And it will trend.
And
when it trends, they will do the content.
You know what? I don't know.
And the content will trend because of those people.
There's something very important that you said. People do events for different reasons. And also, like in my experience, there was what I wanted, and then you couldn't tell my mom nothing. She had like her own, like, this is what I want. And after a while, like I was like, no, we're not going to do this. After a while, I was just like, whatever. But I remember during my trad, it was like, go and dance. Otherwise, Sonny's playing. I had Sonny, King Sonny Ade. Go and dance. That's where they spray you money. And I'm just like, and I remember my feet were like, I felt like my feet were bleeding. So big shout out to one of my chief bridesmaids, Orica. She had to like get under my dress to take off my shoes and like, put slippers on me. And we're there just dancing, looking at the money like, I see enough, is enough. No, keep dancing. This and that. And then so my wedding, it was crazy. It was crazy because I had like about 3,000 people at my wedding, number one. And my parents as well. I mean, God rest my dad. So my parents were like the main people that just, it was just crazy. When we said we were getting married and, the dates had been given and everything, I asked my dad, okay, so what are your plans? What do you want? You know what? I don't know. I'm just going to do I'll invite maybe 3 or 4 obas.
You know that trend.
I said, okay.
Go babe.
I said, okay, all right. So you have to make arrangements because traditionally, obas are not allowed to eat in front of people. So we're like, okay, fine. We'll just do it, somewhere. And at this point, my dad was thinking we're going to do it at the palace. And I was like, oh, I want, somewhere else. So there was already that. Then about 2 weeks before the wedding, my dad had been chill. He's like, what are the plans? What's going on? And I was just like, yo, dude, you said you had like, we've made arrangements for like 3 obas. He's like, no, 30 obas are coming. I said, what? So you know what we had to do? We had to get another canopy.
Oh my God.
Another canopy. And then, oh my gosh, like I think I've told the story, but this was one of the first outings, not the first, but one of the first outings for the new Oni of Ife. He came with 30 people.
Oh, wow.
He came with like 30 people. So I'm just like,
yeah.
And then, so my bridesmaids table was just there. Obviously, they were like helping me doing stuff and everything. And I just saw from the corner. Yeah. So they had like a rope around it. They were like, this is for the bridesmaids and everything. I saw somebody like that was part of his crew just remove the rope. Yo. And I'm just, me, I was about to be like, no, that's why they were like, shh, you're the bride. I'm like, no, but where my bridesmaids going to sit? Like, so after a while, I just sort of gave up. So it was absolute chaos. So how do you deal with
stuff like that?
With family? Like, do you have, I'm sure you've experienced bridezillas, but do you have motherzillas, mother of the bridezillas,
yes,
father of the bridezillas? Yes. How do you deal with that?
I've experienced it all.
Let me give you two questions. How do you deal with it, and what's the worst situation you've experienced?
Okay, so how do I deal with it? I'll say that nowadays I just make sure that I am seen and heard by all stakeholders. So you know how back then it was
Stakeholders.
always yes. You know how back then it was always just the couple that will come and tell you this is what I want. And you've been taking notes as if they're the ones sponsoring their events. Then later on you now find out that there's literally like obviously the parents that are doing a lot. They have their own expectations that is separate from what the couple wants. And there's one uncle that's probably dropped maybe 50 million naira somewhere, and that one is saying that he wants his tables, he wants this. So literally you need to ask the right questions. How many people are going to come on that day and feel like this party belongs to them outside of you, you know? And then obviously for brides and grooms that have high expectations, I'll tell you, just pick a day. One day has to be for everybody to just pretty much enjoy themselves. And then let's meet these people and ask them what their expectations are and prepare for it. So, for example, if the planner had probably had a one-on-one or continuously disturbing daddy, he will say, okay, I'll be ready next week. I'll be ready. The day he now tells you that he's finally bringing his 30 obas, it's now easy for you to now plan in advance for those 30 obas. And the people that are going to come with them, because 30 obas will come with 10 other people.
It doesn't mean 30 people. So, yes. It doesn't mean 30 people.
That's like, that's 300. I'd be rough calculation. So you have to pretty much just make sure that you have their area cordoned off, ready. Nobody is going there. And even when they do come and tell you on that day that they have more, you need to have some backup tables that are ready.
Yes.
When I hear that we're having dignitaries and we're having obas, in fact, that's one of the first, when I get booked and I know the clients I'm working with, I'm already prepared mentally that the numbers they are giving me, I promise you, it is not the right
It's just
number.
the imagination.
You understand? And that's why when it comes to all the food, I'm always really particular about let's have more than enough, because I am preparing myself for rainy days when you tell me that we're going to have 500 guests and 1,000 people are in that hall. So the backup tables are needed. The backup chairs are needed. Do you understand? And then obviously these areas for these dignitaries, for them to feel like they're the cool kids. So even though you have your bridal party, because you know how the mistakes we used to make in the past is that the bridal party are all positioned in their best areas in front, and then you think that everybody else will now be out at the back. And are you joking? They want to have their own palace too. So you create that palace for them and let them feel cool too, so that they're not eyeing where the bridal party, are sitting. So I think that kind of corrects you. You have to just have emotional intelligence when it comes to that, right? When you know the type of event that you're doing.
So let me ask you this. So, okay, we said we're keeping this event for 300 people. So I want to have an event for 300 people. How many plates of food do I actually need?
You need to time. So I always say I calculate times 2. And then I just have all those my backup grills. I just have all those other smaller things that I had. Because the thing about it, these smaller things will actually help you, because if someone comes to your event and you just bring chicken and chips, they'll tell you that they do not eat at your event. I've actually had someone say, yes.
What?
They'll tell you that I didn't eat jollof rice. I didn't eat, full million Jenny Pasi you. They ate the chicken and chips, so they probably even took had dessert because of the time they came in. So most people are really expectant of having like the whole full course.
No matter what time they step in.
Yes. And that's why I'm always
at your house or go to an eatery before you go to the event.
So the thing is that the standard, so it depends on the type of client you're dealing with. If it's like a small little, like, okay, you can just tell them, I'm sorry, food has finished. But there's some event that you can never say. You can't even say, it's even a taboo in my own event to say food has finished. We have to look for that food. That's why my backup is always a winner. If there's any client that knows me, I'm always very big on backup food. That food that is coming in, piping hot later in the evening, it always saves a lot.
Those ones are good.
Yes.
Okay, so you said like for stuff like rice and everything, you do times 2, but as a whole, if you count like the grills, the different things, how many people?
No. So the mains are definitely, I always calculate times 2. Yes, I always try to make sure that I have the times 2.
For this event with 300 people, that's times 2. So you're basically catering for 600 people.
Yes.
Then for the grills, how many? What kind of quantity are you looking at?
Those ones can just be like one-off. So for example, back then they will tell you that everybody will not eat small chops. It's a lie. Are you going
Everybody
to
will eat
pass
small
this
chops,
person
so.
table and say, oh, sorry, you cannot eat? Because back then we used to say, okay, we grills, you don't have to do for everybody. But no, especially when you're having intimate events, you have to actually make sure that every single person has that thing, unless you offend people. You're not going to be passing. So basically what I'm saying is that if you have 300 guests, you have to have 300 grills.
So essentially, food-wise now...
because, and another thing I want to say, sorry, is most people don't leave early. You know how you were saying people leave? People are not eager to leave your events early.
That's
They
what I'm
will
saying.
stay back.
Especially if there's food
If
and
there's
drink.
food and drink,
And if they
music is
see
good.
the beautiful, vibrant, and they're now, obviously, people look at events as opportunity to network, especially depending on the type of event.
Well,
they are using it to catch up with
according
their
to you,
content.
they use it to eat.
Do you
It's just
understand? Now you see content creators actually coming to the event to do their content.
I was gonna ask that.
Sorry, before you move... Yeah, I was going to ask something about that.
Then, oh my God.
There's so much to talk
Yeah,
about,
so
right?
it's like,
So I'm trying to get the exact number. So
Yes.
for this event of 300 people, from what you said now, you're catering for 1,200 people.
you have to have enough. I'll
You've
say 600 for the food.
600 for like the
Food,
jollof rice,
then
all
the-
of that.
the-
Then
then
the
the
grills, that's
should
another
actually be-
300.
yes.
Then the small chops, that's
Amala.
another 300.
The small chops and another thing.
So
Yes.
essentially, in terms of actual plates, that's like 1,200, no?
Yeah.
More than
Yeah,
that. Because
about
they're
you can
gonna
even
have other things. In some weddings, they also do gari.
So that's where the
sugar,
budget
all
comes
those
in.
things. Yeah,
So you know
they
how
do-
you were screaming when I said 80. If you're now one of those people that 30 million is my own budget, you can limit it to just
small things.
small chops, main food, desserts.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just let the people know that if you're coming and they're asking, oh, when are they bringing the grills? You know, people that have expectations, right? If there's that society big auntie that is part of your family, she's coming and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is what we have. Do you understand what I mean? And then you know that you're managing expectations.
So in the
those
last few years,
areas.
the economy has been getting tougher and tougher. How has this affected events? Have you seen people having less events or reduced budgets or
Borrowing money.
Or what do you think people are doing? Has it
I won't
changed?
really know if they were borrowing money.
Are the
but
events less lavish, or are they even getting more and more lavish?
the people that come to me actually want more lavish.
Okay.
It's actually quite
So
scary.
money ain't a thing.
Like, I mean, we all love those very good clients that want quality and everything. However, people are asking, their demands are actually, people want more personalized things, more custom-made things. I want something that has not been done before. I don't want to copy this other person's event. I want mine to be better. So you hear things like that. But it might be obviously those people coming to me. You know, I mean, I know that for a fact that we've also, especially after COVID, we did start having more outdoor experiences and people actually saying, okay, you know, one of my events will be smaller because they do know that parents will hijack one. So let me have the other one smaller. So yes, the demand for smaller intimate events has actually, you know, skyrocketed. But
Just
the
because
quality,
it's smaller doesn't
the
mean that
experience,
it's cheaper.
yeah, I keep telling people it's not about that. Some people spend even way more with those smaller events than someone that had 1,000 capacity that is just particular about just people eating and just having bang, bang, like I'm not having too much things. It's just going to be straight to the point.
What's the strangest request that you've received for an event? Like the strangest thing somebody has asked you to provide?
Oh, my days of doing like grand experiences, which, okay, well, I'm going to resume again. But yes, how people want ridiculous things. They want their cake to come from under the ground. They want to come from on top of the roof. I remember when I was...
That's what you like. That's
I
what
love
you
it.
do.
I love it, but now it's like everywhere.
It was
So you
time
have to
to-
keep on trying to think about, oh my God, what next?
I think
And I think that's like the big challenge. Like you just have to just stay relevant and keep on like topping it. So what next after you have brought a couple down from the roof?
Bisola likes
What
things
next?
like that. Oh, your cake is coming from the sky. She
And
loves
it's so beautiful to
experiences
see when people
and
are
things
doing
like
all
that.
those things. But yeah, experiences are really a thing now. And then when you hear all those things, it gets me. When I'm excited about your brief, I will go over and beyond.
Have you ever
for
had
you.
something go wrong? Like
Oh,
the cake is
yes.
supposed to come from
And
the
the cake
sky
fell
and
or the
it
couple fell.
No. I've not had it. I've had behind the scenes us going crazy but we would always find a solution.
Okay.
The client might not have known. So for example, there was an event we had in Akure and the generator could not power the device that we're going to use to bring the cake up.
Okay.
And it was getting close to that time when, in fact, it had even packed up. It wasn't even a case of that. And we're in Akure. I'm like, oh my God, like what? So obviously, thankfully, the person I brought, obviously from Lagos, who was helping me do the thing, was able to get a rented generator. But what we had to do then was to move the time of cutting of the cake to later on. Thankfully, the client did not really notice. I mean, they had sent a message that was like the program is as if the program is changing a bit, but because it was a lot of dancing, announcement, we took advantage of it. And thank God we had an MC that had sense. And that one is very important because there are some MC that were announced. We're sorry, the event planners have not been able to, yeah. There's some MC that don't have sense. But this one, we told him, he was like, okay, no problem. We should just let him know immediately we have a solution now. Because obviously this cake was underneath. It wasn't a thing that we could go and carry it up. Anyway, thankfully, we were able to rent a generator just for the purpose of bringing it up. That's all.
A quick question.
And that was just it. But we had to move the timing later on towards the end of the party.
I've heard from couples say that once they contact some event planners, they kind of force them to work with
their vendors.
This list of vendors. And they say, if you're not working with this list of vendors, I'm sorry, I cannot do your event. Does this happen?
Some people do that because of convenience. They've been burnt in the past. They've had situations whereby because they were trying to be nice and accommodate different people have come and actually almost destroyed their reputation. Because obviously, if your event goes back, everybody just blames the event planner. Everybody. Even, I'm not going to lie to me, even sometimes when clients tell me they have their vendors, I'm always very skeptical because I'm like, is this person recommending this vendor because she's her friend? They've not done their due diligence. Yes, exactly. Sometimes it's always about that. And I'm like, how am I going to just trust? Because people just blame the event planner. They will just say it's the event planner. Why didn't you advise your client? Why didn't you tell them this? So, to be honest,
you see a TikTok story about you.
Exactly.
Don't use
exactly. So, and they just don't understand that sometimes it's beyond what we have control of. And because I'm not a decorator. I'm not going to go and the decorator
you're not going to drape the something now.
So it's always like sometimes for peace of mind, you just want to use your own vendors. However, I've learned to balance it. I used to do that before because I just wanted peace of mind. I felt like I had an 18. Once I have a job, I already know the people that will do what. And they will, and they're reliable. They do it beyond expectations because they know you keep coming back. So it's like almost like a done deal. Your event is made. So when you now scatter that puzzle for me, it's like, but you know what? I learned that to grow in the industry, you actually need to do that. Because if you're comfortable in your zone, you don't even know what you're missing out. There are some people that might even be better at these people. So sometimes I do the mix and match thing whereby, okay, this event, okay, maybe I can try someone else. I can do this. I weigh the risk.
Have you ever had a couple or a client ask you for some stuff that you're just like, no, this cannot happen? Like they've maybe had some wild requests and you're just like, no, we cannot do that.
Yeah, I've learned to say no. I've learned not to be a yes ma planner. You know, you are there to manage and advise your client, not to just be like, oh yes, do this. Like sometimes when they're asking you for something that it would hurt their event, you just try and make them see reason why they shouldn't be doing those things.
Wild animals? I've seen a wedding where they brought a lion. It was a few years ago that the lion was just
Nigeria.
It was in Nigeria.
A lion.
There was a lion.
Is it like a cooked one or a live one?
No, a live one.
Wow.
It was a live one. This was years ago. This was a long.
It looks like
why? But why would you do that? Like that's so. Because
the kind of clients that come to me,
please,
always ask
like,
for
can you not do that?
No.
Now it would just be like that event that the lion
broke out at 8 people. No. It wasn't my event.
There's no need to do that.
Event.
I have a question. So we talked about food for a while. What has been the largest amount that you've spent on decor?
Decor. Oh, now
the largest budget you've been given to spend on decor.
100 million. People spend 100 million on decor.
Just decor. What about events?
From 900 million naira, my biggest budget last year was a wedding, 900 million naira, and that was just the ones I took care of. Not the one.
So you didn't even have the whole thing?
Yes. So there were some things they took care of. So imagine if they added that to ours, then you can imagine people have the money to spend. And this is obviously not trying to make people that have smaller budgets feel. I mean, you can have your 5 million naira wedding, 10 million, 15 million naira wedding, but just know
are you about to say, but don't call me?
Yay. But just manage your expectations and don't go crazy. That's all I would say. Like, manage your expectations. If you know you don't have that amount to just go crazy, like, just just manage your expectations in different areas. Like, that's what I would say.
I've got 2 questions. What is that one thing that people are wasting their money on at events, and what's that one thing that they should actually, spend money on? I have like an idea. I feel that wedding cakes they're ridiculously expensive. I don't know what happened to my wedding cake. I know that we cut the cake, and I don't know. And when you're planning, you're looking. Oh no, I want this cake with a tower and this and da. But after you cut the cake, I don't even see people eating the cake. So I always, afterwards, I was like, you know what we should have done? We should have literally just gotten like a styrofoam cake and had like a half, one of the layers, like literally half of one layer should have just been where we cut and eat. Because nobody cares about the cake. Nobody's like, I went to a wedding. They didn't even give me wedding cake. Nobody cares about it. Am I wrong?
I mean, I love my own cake. I love seeing it. But it was blue.
It could be
that was
pretty.
Just something
but it could be pretty, but not like something that's super expensive.
You don't need 6 layers of cake.
Yes, I agree. For my traditional wedding, I didn't have a cake. I didn't think I needed.
I don't know.
One. So
you know that you mentioned. I don't know what happened to my trad cake.
Yeah,
I got a cake, but I can't remember.
We do have clients these days. I'll tell you. You know what? I don't really need a cake for my traditional wedding. I don't need. But for the white wedding, obviously, just something pretty to look at and all that.
That was a whole nother.
It's just for pictures. So, do you have anything else that you think people are wasting their money on?
I will say that yes, wasting money on so many expensive outfits that they will never wear again.
Like a bridal robe is a waste of time.
And insisting that it has to be a particular designer. I'm not going to lie to you. I was burnt. I'm an event planner, but I was burnt on my wedding when I was insisting on working on a particular designer, and she was not cheap. And at the end of the day,
I should not give you discounts because you are a planner.
And you can imagine everybody's looking at what Bisola is going to wear.
Because it was your wedding.
And I'm like, what is this? And what did she have to say? I mean, I don't want to go back there, but my point is that sometimes you don't even need to spend that much on those clothes. And there are so many people that can make those clothes to look amazing. I'm talking about people spending, I mean, again, I don't want to look as if I'm putting out scary figures out there.
No,
but there are people that charge, 15 million and above for outfits.
Yeah,
yes.
They do.
And at the end of the day, the service is so shitty, and you're like, what's going on? Excuse my French.
Oh, this is OffAir. You can curse.
Yeah, so it's like, I think like, if I could go back, that's where I would have kind of like reduced my budget to spend somewhere else. Because there was a lot of money spent there. And to be honest,
on outfits,
the people that didn't even charge as much gave me better service.
And what do you think people should actually spend their money on? What should you actually say?
I would definitely say the look and feel of your day. Decor is very important. Your food, your drink,
your security.
The people in charge of the entertainment, your MC,
your
okay. Even if you don't have a band,
when I used to MC
DJ,
weddings, they didn't used to want to pay the MC. Back in
now
the day.
people have started paying
that's
MCs,
one I was going to say, but also
security.
spend money on security because what happens is when your security is not tight,
that's
random
when
people enter your wedding, and you can tell when some people are not part of the initial.
People go the extra mile now. Everybody wants their event very people, only the people I invite. So we have these vendors that just for the event management aspect of, scanning your QR codes before you come. So all that would have already been done behind the scenes. And so we have less of people that are coming, that are just showing up because they feel like, they heard that there's an event happening. There's more focus on that area.
Okay, so what do you think are the biggest mistakes that people make when putting together, not you, but your clients, the biggest mistake that people make in general when planning events?
I think they don't do I feel like every couple should at least have done 1 or 2
findings and
investigate before reaching out.
What kind of findings?
I'll talk about like general cost of things.
So they're always shocked when you mention the cost?
Yes, like just general cost. So you can just do plus and minus so that when you're hearing some figures, you're not looking like
they're not looking at you like a thief.
And then you can now make up your mind, okay, maybe I don't need it. Because you don't really need all those things.
Do you
half
have
of the time
some clients come to you and say, I want this wedding to trend?
Yes, so all the time they want it to trend, and they're not even ready to do the things that will make it they just want
what
it
are
to
the
trend.
things that
Why do you want your event to trend? Why can't it
that's
just
what
be a
I'm
great
saying.
event?
Like it's almost kind of I always kind of side eye you when you're trying to use your wedding as a springboard to have an influencer career or like have like a content creator. And so what they do is they do everything in their power to make sure that that event trends, so that they've now all kind of become like a public figure-ish type person or whatever. So what do you say to people like that? I want my event to trend. I want it to be on every blog. I want it to be like, I remember I know of someone who got married, and I swear they said that he kept telling his friends and goons, hashtag and tag Bella Naija, tag Bella Naija, tag Bella. He said it over 20 times, and they were like, calm down now.
Yeah.
Why did you just bought blog posts? Because you kept the person like tagged Bella Naija and all the wedding blogs for their life. Like,
to be honest, I actually don't have a problem with someone saying they want to trend, because that's also their opportunity to shine. You know, all you superstars already, you know, you trend regularly.
The next person
you
after, the next person after, she's going to be like, we should bring a lion.
No, not a lion. But yes, I feel like it's the opportunity to just, a lot of people have spent a lot of money on their day. They feel like they have to reap from it either on the day where they're getting a lot of money, or in real life, you know, where they can even, you know, use that opportunity to jumpstart their career and whatever it is that they're doing, and through that, the hype they got from their wedding, and that's why they really want to go over and beyond, just so it's perfect. But the due diligence I'm talking about is also this. So you want your wedding to trend, you have to start doing the things that will make your wedding trend. Are you ready?
What's that saying?
Are you ready?
The lifestyle course. Now you
exactly.
know.
And then you're bringing Temi Otelola's wedding and saying you want the exact thing, but do you know what it means to have that?
That's the thing. So you have champagne taste but beer budget.
So, I mean, I don't even have a problem with you doing that, but because there are a lot of very good creatives, but be realistic. Like, don't try and you're bringing that standard. Do you know what it is to create that type of standard of, because obviously they are not probably, they're just going with the flow and spending whatever it is they want.
Billionaire's daughter's wedding.
So be ready to at least hear some figures, and don't make it look as if the person is making. I feel like people that undercharge and tell you, oh no, I want it to be low. Meanwhile, have you seen what you're asking for? You want something different. You want something that will stand out. You are comparing with standard of what has been done. The people that did it, they were paid multiples of millions of dollars. You know, there was one time they flew in a Lebanese decorator to Nigeria. Yes, and they paid that. I don't want this program to be filled with figures that will scare people. But they spent a lot of money on that event. Yeah. So you're saying you want that exact event, and you're expecting that the fees will be. Should you even be scared if I tell you that money, that no, you can collect 5 million for that decor?
We've even had somebody tell us that they flew in the cake on a private jet.
I have a client that's flying in her band. The people that are going to be performing. I mean, people have the money. If you have the money, no problem. Do your thing. You know, I don't even question things like that. I love a good party.
There was a wedding that I went to. Was it about 2 years ago? And I went there and I was like, wow. And we were just asking, and we found out that the decor was 500 million.
That's wild.
So people are spending that money, but people are also spending less, and still getting, a good deal. But don't manage your expectations. Don't go and say, why is it not exactly like this other person? Meanwhile, that person spent 500.
Okay, so let's talk about it now. I want to get married. I want to do like an intimate thing, 50 to 100 people.
Okay.
You can still do that, and you don't have to break the bank for that. So how would you create a unique event for like somebody? Because I've been seeing it on Instagram where people just have like, you know, little like cute events, and they look like they had so much fun. So how do you create something
by inviting
like
the right set of people? Also, you know.
So what would you like a nice garden event now?
Yeah. So if you have a nice garden event, you know, just you can even rent some of the things that you usually need to hire a decorator, because most decorators, some people, for them to even leave their, like, to do your event alone, they're already calling a figure that might make you shake a little bit. So why not just do the rental thing whereby you can rent certain things? So that would definitely bring it down. Or, I mean, maybe get an upcoming person that's pretty decent, that can do something for you. So yeah, I feel like once the aesthetics is beautiful, you have, you know, of your the
vibe and energy and everything.
A good DJ is always a good idea. You know, one entertainment, And when I say entertainment, I mean like, outside of the MC, maybe just something that can get people dancing. And there was an event we did where they just got a choreographer that was teaching people how to dance on the dance floor. And that was really nice. So people are being very creative. You don't have to break the bank, honestly, and you have a great time. Drinks, but drinks are expensive. So some people don't care too much about the quality. I have clients that are very particular. Oh, is it 18 years? Is it this? Is it that? Some people are not particular about that.
After 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock.
A good way to save money is don't serve alcohol.
What? But how will people have fun?
What? There's some people that they're like no alcohol.
Christian parties.
Yeah, they're very Christian and they're like no.
Christian parties.
Like the wedding that I told you that I attended that ended by 5. There was no alcohol.
Christian parties.
We came out of a wedding. You don't understand? We came out of a wedding and it was still light outside. I was confused.
So what stood out about that event? Was it the music?
No alcohol.
It was just nice. No alcohol. It was just
the music was good, right?
I can't even remember. All I remember is there was no alcohol.
So I'm not gonna lie. The type of people you invite to your event alone that can also help you. That's why sometimes I don't blame certain people for picking and choosing who to come, because some people they just come with their bad blood and they're just angry all over the place. And they're spoiling all your pictures. When you just bring all the people that just,
I think
you can just always have laughters in the room.
If you're going to have an event and there's no alcohol, it should clearly be stated on the invitation. Because I get offended I get offended when I go to an event and they're like, oh, you're on a mocktail. I'm like, why? I'm not pregnant. Give me something strong. I'm like, give me something that I came to. I like.
And she's not a big drinker, but
that one drink gets me in the right. I'm fine. I'm not the kind of person that will have like 10 drinks or everything. But give me like that one nice cocktail. I'm merry. I'm calm. I'm nice. I go to the bathroom. I make friends. But let it be.
I think alcohol is important, but not too. Not the most.
You know what? But not too much as well. Not too much. So those things are important. Okay, so let's do a quick fire round. Get ready. We're going to ask you these questions.
Oh my God.
Okay. So.
Oh my God.
I still feel like we're going to give you a challenge. We're going to give you like we're going to find people. Actually, maybe we should give it to like our OffAir gang. Somebody that wants to plan an intimate event. We're going to give her like
budget is what,
5M. And you're going to do an event for like about 30, 40
people.
Face.
She's like,
no.
Yes. Small budget or big budget?
What would you rather?
Small budget or big budget?
Big budget.
Luxury wedding or luxury birthday? What kind of events do you even prefer?
I love both of them, but yes, weddings are very emotional. Let me say weddings just so that I don't
lover girl weddings. Okay.
Lagos party or destination party?
I love my Lagos party. I'm sorry, but destination is good too. But man, Lagos parties.
As a guest who has attended
a good Lagos party.
For you to have a good destination party,
let me tell you how good Lagos parties are trending. I do have some people that reach out to me from time to time to say, please, can I just come and do content about Nigerian like events? Like the hype is so much.
They're not Nigerian, but
they're not Nigerian. They just want to come, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't do that because obviously that would be like
Lagos weddings are on some people's bucket list.
Yeah,
because of how
they even do it as events.
Yeah,
they do it as events outside the country.
They do like themed Lagos parties.
So I mean, are you joking?
Okay. Bridezilla or corporate clients?
Corporate clients.
All right. Yes. And yeah.
One word that describes your brand.
Sorry, to also add to that, please, it's very important that to love and understand the type of planner you're hiring so that you can trust her and just not be a Bridezilla. Because I feel like all these Bridezillas, it comes from hurt of their transferring aggression of maybe other things that have happened in all the wrong things that have happened in other people's events. They now pour it on your head and it's like, don't you know who I am? You booked me and you're giving me all these.
Some are just horrible people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, please, I don't. Oh God, please, I don't. I definitely don't want a Bridezilla.
If you are in a situation where somebody has said, okay, I have 1.5 billion for this wedding, and then you've heard that the person is a complete witch of a Bridezilla. Like horrible, like maybe like a fellow event planner that you worked with was like, she's so horrible, she made me cry, she complained about everything, then afterwards it was such a horrible experience, but they've given you this crazy budget. Would you do the event?
I won't do it. Peace of mind over anything. That's
1.5.
It will come and haunt you. I'm telling you, I'll get other ones. I'll rather do my other 500s and all that. It will make up in the end.
It's
Please.
true. Don't go before you have to spend the money on therapy.
She might even call. She can call you out maybe because just something went wrong, and she's like, then that money you think that you spent. No.
Okay.
Peace of mind over money.
So the last question for the quick fire round: one word that describes your brand.
Fiery.
What? She said fiery.
Okay, I'll say exciting.
One word.
Exciting.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
How can people reach out to you?
Oh, Bisola Trendy on Instagram, even though I need to do more. But yes. Bisola Trendy on Instagram, Trendy B events. That's all pretty much.
And last question. If you're planning a December wedding, when should you actually begin planning?
Start in January, baby, if you can. You know, it will also help you cut a lot of costs because you'll be starting early, negotiating early, you know, instead of starting later on when everybody has doubled their prices. So start early. The earlier, the better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for stopping by. This has been interesting. This just makes me realize that if I was getting married now, I'll just do like a nice garden, just a nice garden
Just go
event.
to court.
No, just manage your expectations. You can still have something decent.
There's jollof at home.
It's too much.
It's too expensive.
And then the crazy thing is, especially for my tribe, it's just like a blur in my mind. I just remember so many people were like, I was there.
Your parents
and I was
had a
like,
blast.
My mom.
They had a blast.
My
But your white
mom
wedding
was in Dubai. That one. When I eventually like let go and just said, okay, my mom can do whatever. I feel like my mom even had another Asoebi as well because I was like, my mind, I thought I was smart. I was like, I'm going to control the crowd. I'm going to have a particular amount of Asoebi. I'm going to have a particular amount of invites so I can control things. My mom's like, okay. Next thing, there was like I even think they went to the market to find something similar.
Oh my God.
They did that. So for the white, I was like, I want it to be more intimate. I found out that till today, my mom is so upset with me that I did this. There was one auntie that I wasn't very familiar with. So it was supposed to be like just, you know, not everybody. So that's how she just told my mom she's coming. And literally it was per plate and it wasn't cheap. So you know what I did? I called and I'm like, I'm so sorry, auntie. I don't think we can accommodate you.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So I just told her that she can't come.
Is she talking to you now?
They're not close. So
It was all right. Everybody else come out like it's per plate, so everybody be fine. Nobody look. If you were that important, isn't it? Let me not talk.
Yeah.
Don't even trust. All I'll say is I know that for some people, people look at their weddings as this once in a lifetime type situation. There's still life after the wedding.
Yes.
Just think about that.
Yes.
For sure.
Because there's nothing quite like what's crazy is you spend that much on a wedding and it's like, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. It's this. First of all, some of my outfits, I don't even know where they are today. But then after the wedding, then you're like, oh, it's time to get a house. And then you realize that all of that money I spent on my wedding
as half down or something on a house or a property or something. So
yep. So just think wisely. I love that people are really thinking about like, you know, intimate events where you have like a premium experience as well.
Yes.
I think that's definitely where I would go if I was going to get married.
Yes, I like the idea of a premium an intimate event because you're inviting the people that matter to you the most. Even some of those people, when marriage starts, it's not like they're going to be there to help or assist you when you have anything. Like some of them, you don't even see them
you never see them again.
But at least the people that matter, they've been part of your life. Because trust me, if you're just bringing randoms, those people, they'll just come gossip about the wedding, do this. So I'm team intimate wedding any day, anytime. You know. But I still enjoyed my own wedding. My wedding was a blast.
It was.
I'm very happy.
It was a 5-day affair.
It was a lot of fun.
And maybe I would have taken out the cocktail event. Maybe I would have just done trad and just the white. I didn't really need to have all those plenty other ones. But
it's understandable because
happy.
this is your field, so you have to also show.
Yes.
So I'm gonna end this with a question not for you. This is you can answer actually. It's a question for OffAir gang. So if you buy Asoebi, like really expensive Asoebi for a wedding, let's say what 250, 300,
anything over 100K. Please.
Okay, let's say 300,000, and you find out that the couple splits before a year. Are you entitled to a refund?
What's it journal now? It has ended.
What if they lasted like 6 months?
1 year. Look.
I would jokingly be like, how are you guys going to refund us? Maybe I'll make that joke. Anyways, let us know what you think about that. Thank you so much, Bisola, for stopping by. Best of luck with everything. I know I'm going to see a lion and a whole zoo at one of your events very soon. And we'll be watching because there'll be somebody filming.
Yes,
we'll be watching.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Coming.
Thank you. Yay!
Okay, guys, it is now time for Money Zone. This is brought to you by our good friends at Money Point. I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Should couples mix business and love?
It depends. It depends. Can you run a business with your husband?
Yes, but he has to look after the money.
Okay, why you spend it all?
Yes. So he's very budget, you know. I will have like a rough idea of the budget, but then it might sort of change. But he's just like the numbers.
Yeah.
Anyways, so our good friends at Money Point have basically given us some advice. So if, like me, you kind of think it could work, but I think we'd need to think about it carefully. This is what they said. Mixing business and relationships can be rewarding. Note that word, rewarding.
Can be.
But also complicated. Many couples start ventures together with shared passion, but without clear financial structures. Like I said, things can quickly become messy.
I think number one thing that causes, not that I think, actually, according to research. And also lots of divorce lawyers, is one of the number one things that cause breakups in marriage is not even infidelity, but it's actually money. So it can make things get really, really, testy very, very quickly. So you need to be careful about that. And look, it's not easy to be in a relationship, whether you're married or whatever it is, but to now add the tension of money again on top, it can be very, very tricky. So there are questions around ownership, accountability, profit sharing, and things like that. And with Money Point, couples running businesses together can maintain transparency through a dedicated account because every transaction is recorded, the rules are clear, and financial conversations are based on facts and not assumptions. So this helps protect the relationship and the business. So make sure you download the Money Point app today.
Yes, lots of information on the Money Point app. Again, if you are a business owner or if you are just an individual, there's information on how to get loans. If you're starting a business, there's information on how to run your business very, very well, just to make sure you know exactly what's coming in and exactly what is profit. Not every single thing that is coming in is profit. So once again, make sure you download the Money Point app. Get yourself a Money Point card if you haven't. If you have a business and you want to see when your money is coming in and you want to know exactly when it's coming in, you can get like a Money Point account for your business as well. All right? On that note,
want to say shout out to our guests for stopping by.
Yes.
It was really, really exciting to see. I know this is a topic that we speak about from time to time on this show because look, there's many trends. There's so many things happening and we just need to know what's going on. So if you have an event coming up, a special occasion, you can definitely reach out to her and she will make sure that your event is on point. Just make sure you carry your money.
Yes, carry your money and have an idea of what things cost. So final question. Final question. I feel like I've said that a few times today. Think about the best event that you went to. What made it fantastic?
It was someone's wedding in Dubai. Everything was white from head to everything. Even the carpet was white. It wasn't that kind of carpet that you step in and it swallows your feet.
You sink into.
And they had fresh flowers. It was beautiful. I almost like, wow, if this looks like this, how does heaven look? It was so really, really nice. And almost everybody had someone taking care of them. So as soon as you drop your cup, would you like something? So at some point, there was no menu. It was name what you want and we'll get it to you. It was at Palazzo Versace. I will never forget in Dubai. I was just like, oh, I don't want to leave this way. I was at some point, I started calling out things. I'll be like, do you have
me the head of a ram?
They'll be like, coming right up, ma'am. And they'll go and bring. Do you have coming
give
right
me,
up?
Give me a bullfrog.
That was the best event I'd ever been to. I would never forget that event. And it was planned by Funke Buckner.
Oh, of course.
But
She's
yeah,
fantastic.
I'll never forget.
I think I have like a few, but for me, it's honestly if I'm with the right people. I think that's very, very important. If they're the right people, if the music is good, food is good, drinks are there, yeah, I can actually, and then my outfit is comfortable. Yeah. So thank you once again for watching. If you haven't done so, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you do that. And also follow us on Instagram if you haven't done so. And we'll catch you next time. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.